All right, we're here for episode 10, the final episode of Fleet. My name is Becky. I'm the writer, creator, head crazy person. We got Megan, one of our actors. Emily's here. She's also one of our actors, done a bunch of different things. Walt, one of our directors, actors, a lot of different things. We got Bryce, who helped build our sets, and one of our very talented cast as well. So here is episode 10, folks.
The regime will not allow any more resistance.
We knew the Takeo had a leadership base somewhere.
But Waterford?
It makes sense. Everything the Takeo has done has been to weaken the enemy and to cleanse the colonies they deem to be poison. I fear we're headed for war.
Captain, we are receiving a transmission.
Put it on screen. Get me HQ.
Captain, I'm not getting a response.
Keep trying.
An automated message just kicked in.
Earth has been attacked. To any fleet vessels. Code 42 Alpha.
Go to red alert.
Attention crew and passengers of the Odyssey. Earth has been attacked. Admiral Rathbone got out a coded message for the rendezvous with the remainder of the fleet. As soon as any information becomes available, it will be posted throughout the ship.
Tom, those were my most promising subjects.
I had to send a message, Doctor.
But my best subjects.
Are you questioning me?
Nine, Chancellor.
Then get back to your hole and learn what you can from the new lab rats we brought you.
You won't, Chancellor.
Ben?
Abby.
Ben?
Abigail, get out of here.
I'm not leaving you.
See my day going like this.
Murphy, find something to make a stretcher.
Abby. I'm not gonna make it.
Too much of a curmudgeon to die.
Renee, Jill, Joanna.
Stop. You're gonna be fine.
I'm not.
Captain, you said over shipwide that my sister sent the last communication from Earth.
Yes.
What can the other delegates and myself do to be of assistance?
Report to Commander Michaels in Cargo Bay 2.
Thank you.
Hill.
Captain,
Bridge.
pardon me, but I'm really good at reading people. Not like telepathy, more like body language and vibes and stuff.
Some days this job isn't easy, Hill.
Well, like my pop-pop always says, you have to take the tough days to enjoy the good ones.
Your pop-pop's a smart man.
Pop-pop's my grandmother. Yeah, long story short version, she really likes this old earth drink called soda and the candy Pop Rocks.
Make pop-pop for me.
I will. Pop-pop's really not going to be easy to live with once I tell her.
Was that all you got? Huh? You fight like a girl. No, really does fight like a girl. He hits really hard. I think I lost a tooth.
So what'd you find out?
I only saw 12 guards. None of our prisoners. No one that gave any help. The ship? It's a lot bigger than the plans we saw. So no clue on how to get out of here?
You said you only saw 12 guards.
Yeah.
It's the same patterns.
Right. Large facility, only a handful of guards. It gives the impression of a full force.
That's a big assumption.
Not really. They've been pretty consistent over the last 300 years. It's their whole belief in the world order.
They don't change the rules because the rules are perfection.
Whatever we find in the next few days, emotions will run high. Our humanity will be what sustains us. On this wall are the photos of many friends and family. Wherever they are, our hearts and our prayers are with them.
Hey.
I've got booze.
You don't even drink.
Neither do you. Can you think of a better time to start?
Are you trying to poison us?
It was purple. I figured it must be good.
Prisoner holds our field chancellor.
Have you processed everyone?
We're currently going through each hold, finding suitable candidates and placing them in the appropriate cell.
And those who are unfit?
Launched into space.
I want a full count by morning.
Yes, my chancellor.
Don't kill all the children this time. We need to keep the numbers up. For now.
Yes, my chancellor.
Checkmate.
They surprised us before we had any idea what was happening. The Basilius is heavily damaged. The Hippolyta and the Pegasus will transport any civilians to a safe zone, accompanied by Captain Cannoli and the Iliad. The rest of the fleet will return to Earth to pick up whoever's left.
Whoever's left.
The attack originated planet-side. That unknown ship was a transport ship.
The Prometheus? Tried to fend off their transports, but that ship took them out without breaking a sweat.
What about the Prometheus and her crew?
The survivors were picked up by that ship or destroyed.
They were sending a message to anyone who'd fight back.
It isn't much. It's a list of everyone on board a fleet ship, as well as confirmed dead from eyewitness accounts.
Well, your sister's been looking for word on you.
I was planning to go by the cargo bay before I returned to the Basilius. Still getting used to the idea that she's in a cargo bay, willingly. There is one notification you need to handle personally.
Ambassador Carlin, did you see your sister?
What?
She came on board several hours ago.
I'll kill her!
Ambassador, transport.
I'll catch the next one!
I'll notify the ship's counselor and the rest of my team.
Already did.
Why are you here?
Your dad's name was on the list.
Which list?
He didn't make it, Joanna.
He asked you to tell me. Has anyone told Adrian?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll do it.
You've been on board for hours. I had duties to attend to. Hours! You could have been injured or trapped or worse. It's nice to know you care, Andrea. It's Andrea. And of course I care. You're my sister. Don't you ever do that again. This is quite the display of sisterly affection. Don't get used to it. Understood.
Escort Dr. Smith and the body back to the ship.
Yes, ma'am.
We're detecting life
So, how do we escape?
There's no escape.
Victor.
Magda, what a pleasant surprise.
We're slated to be experiments.
Victor. Victor!
Stop saying his name.
Who's Victor?
Traitor.
He was a member of the Underground. His methods were too extreme for our purposes. We need to escape.
What's your plan?
Don't get shot.
That's a good plan.
Put the weapon down.
Can't do that.
You betrayed your own people.
The people of New Waterford are my people.
If you're gonna shoot me, go ahead and shoot.
Didn't see that coming.
Should've shot him when I had the chance.
Alright, so that was episode 10. Oh, come here. There we go. Okay. So episode 10, the last episode of season 1. Not that there's plans for season 2 right now, but you never know. Maybe someday. Thoughts about episode 10?
Well, they haven't, even though, you know, everybody died. It was. I feel like 7 wins the most serious episode.
Yeah. Yeah. 10's right behind it, though, because people die.
Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Not everyone. Really, the only
A
person
lot of
we see
people
die was Ben.
Yeah.
It's just Ben that died. It's insinuated other people died, but Ben's the only character that died.
That's all.
Everybody else just got kidnapped.
Just the planet.
few billion people, but
It's
the only one that really
fine.
mattered was Ben.
We don't know their names.
They got abducted. They were abducted. They didn't all just automatically die. They got abducted. Some of them will die.
Or be experimented on.
Huh? Well, that's why they were all abducted.
Right.
Victor needed people. He needed bodies.
Such a pleasant way to sign off a season.
Well, originally it was supposed to end differently. In the script, it was supposed to be like I go into the wall, the memorial wall or whatever, and I put Vogel's photo up on the wall because now he's missing. He's been kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
And then but that was supposed to be prompted by that scene with the nieces and the nephews and like Renee's family running up to her. Couldn't use the shot.
Nice.
Because we got the end of the wall and everybody's sitting there in the shot.
We all just
There
wanted
was
to
no-
watch it be filmed.
There was no saving that shot, unfortunately. And we never did get, like... I mean, we kind of got the shot of me placing the photo of Vogel up there, but that was like the first shot we got. So Vogel's photo was on the U shelf the whole scene. So I can't really.
Who was the guys that were killed? Who played them?
The guys that were killed?
Yeah, like Lenny just killed.
The assassination.
Oh, those guys at the beginning. So
the people we just saw get shot. Yes.
Rochelle was one. We had a high school friend of mine who just came for the day to literally get shot in the head and be part of the episode, Jamie. And then we had, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Walt, you recommended her. Her name starts with an A.
Angelique.
Angelique! I always keep trying to call her Angelica for some reason. It's Angelique. So those were the three that got killed in that opening scene by Lenny, the murderer.
Murder.
It's a thing.
So I didn't know Jan played two different people. I'm like, what did she do to her hair?
Well, here's the fun thing about Jan. Jan primarily agreed to this because I said she could play her own twin. And then she was really excited about that. And then she took the ambassador part like way seriously. And so every time that ambassador walks into a new scene, she's essentially wearing a new wig and a new outfit. All coordinated by Jan. She's got a purple wig. There's a couple different like brunette wigs. There's a bunch of blonde wigs. I don't even remember what other colors she had. I don't think she had a red one.
No.
Not that I know of.
Not that I
don't think
remember.
so. But yeah, she changed a wig and an outfit pretty much every time she walked through the door, which is hilarious throughout the course of the episode.
Every episode. Every time you see her. Yeah.
Yeah, every time you see her, she changes. That's delightful. All the random stuff we just had. The leaves. The wood. From episode 3. Also, all the cardboard that for some reason I had. That's what's piled on Ben. Along with that bed frame. The bed frame is on the wall along with the cardboard tubing that's in like every shot. The purple pipe.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really a pipe that we found
Right.
dumpster diving. Yeah.
It was a touching scene, though.
It was a very touching
It made
scene.
me sad. Yeah.
That was one when Jan read episode 10. She called me. She's like, I'm crying. I cried when I wrote it. Because Ben's just like this lovable character.
Right.
Emma with one M.
Emma with one M, yes. Every time we see her in this show, there's 3 times, and she's in the lift every single time.
She lives in the
It's just
lift.
where she is. And there's always something weird happening. Either she gets attacked by a telepath, or there's a mysterious buzzing that only she can hear, or in this one she starts talking about Pop Pop.
Right.
We only
Which
have
makes her a fun character just because that's the only times you see her.
Yeah.
Just weird things in an elevator. Yeah.
Yeah, weird things. That was her character because we only had her for the one day. So I just kept putting her in the lift. I was like, we're going to have you in one spot. 3 scenes. We'll film you, you're good. Because she came in from California for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she had moved to California at this point. So she came back to visit her grandma, I think it was. And so we had her for the day.
Her pop pop.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. This whole thing with the tooth, that was Walt. He punches really hard. I think I lost a tooth. That was all Walt.
I like how we get down to be quiet, you know?
Yeah. you know the most frustrating part is if Connor moves his head, you can see the fern in the background. Those are all the flat walls stacked against that wall. Oh, look, there's the fern.
Yeah.
And the moving blanket on the top there, that triangle thing.
Oh, that's what that is.
See? It doesn't matter. They don't know what it is.
Right.
When they stand up again, you'll see the track for the garage door up at the top.
You did
Well-
great.
Things
They're
I
in a
notice.
cell.
Things I notice. But yeah, the fern in the background is my big problem with that.
Lovely.
This was a great effect with the blue frame thing.
My grandparents making an appearance.
You know, here's the thing. I'm going to pause this for a second. We got so many people that like threw in family photos, which is great. But like, this is my mom, my grandma, and my grandma over here on the scooters. My parents are right next to Connor. I've got a cousin next to that. We've got another photo we'll see later of another cousin. The guy in the stormtrooper on the motorcycle, that's our executive producer, Casey. We had a bunch of people that agreed to, like, they asked family basically to come in. Steve's in one of these. Percy's in the bottom left there. I was looking for photos everywhere for this wall.
Your grandparents look like they have a giant bottle of whiskey in front of them. I'm like, what the heck?
There's my mom and my grandma again. A lot of freeze photos. That was somebody.
I would hope so. Yeah.
That's Casey again.
Nice.
Both those shots from when we worked on a web series together where I met him. He was my boss. So Casey Shafsky is one of our executive producers who helped fund our no-budget project. He helped us. So we had at least the Insta walls. That kind of stuff.
Becky's first drink.
Purple. No wonder you don't like purple. We found the.
Maybe it was Fleet that drove me to drink.
And although this is this is also a very serious one. It does have a lot of like those little funny moments in it still to kind of break up that seriousness.
I'm still mad about this. Lenny's blurry. It's my fault. Lenny, I'm sorry.
It's like I finally got to say words.
I know. I'm still mad about it. I reshot this because the other take we had, there's just nothing coming from Lenny, and like this, at least you see some sort of a performance from him.
Right.
I was agonizing about this even today.
Yep.
I had to call Megan and go, what do you think? Let's sharpen it as much as I can without ruining the image completely. By the way, bottom left of that wide shot was Angelique, one of our murder victims. She's also in the cell with Walt. She's the one laying there, shaking back and forth.
You never see her face, yeah.
Yeah. We used her. We brought her on so she could do this part right here, but we ended up using her a couple other places too, and she was great.
Hey, we gotta shoot someone in the head. I'll do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She was great. She was a delight. She even caught on to the damn it Dan.
Damn it, Dan.
Yeah.
Damn it, Dan.
Yeah. Running gag for the entire show.
Yep.
Still a running gag.
Is that one of those things that you put under a bed to make it go up higher?
The what?
Yes.
That's on your desk.
Yes. That is what that is.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Huh? Yeah, but it was the pad charger.
Oh, okay.
It was so much teal. Teal, purple, and gray. Although we didn't use as much teal as we did the gray.
Right.
I had to make that corner.
It worked?
Yep.
Yeah. You were in the corner.
That's where I was told.
And
to
it was
go.
blue screen, I know. And Paul was like, why does this wall look weird? Why do the shadows look weird? Oh, she was in the corner.
I was
I
right
had
there.
to make the corner.
Yeah.
With the blue screen.
You ever have clean hair, or is it always messy?
Hers?
Yeah, it's always messy.
That was just Haley's hair.
Oh.
It was part of her character.
Okay.
Finding a wig to match that was a challenge.
Oh, I bet.
But we made it work. I thought we did pretty good. Oh, this scene.
The ultimate twin.
This worked?
Yeah. You have to understand. Let me explain. So, when we shot this originally day of, Eric is where Rathbone Jan is. And that is Eric right there in the red. The problem is what was not considered was the fact that Eric had a beard.
Well, you didn't want to see his face anyways.
Well, yes, but the shot was far enough back that his entire jaw was in the shot.
Oh.
So the
You
last
did very well, though.
Thank you.
By
I had to
getting rid of
get
his beard.
the very last shot that I got were pickup shots of Jan to be able to do that scene.
Mm.
And it was, that's why shooting took 2 years, because it was the very last thing. Jan had moved to California by that point. She happened to be in town, so I had her come by. We threw up a green screen and we shot it so that I could edit the scene together. So that was the very last thing shot, was Jan's pickup shots. And by then it had been like 2 years and neither one of us could remember what we had done, so I had to pull up the footage, make sure I got what I needed.
Well, you did a good job.
Yeah, it worked out. A lot of masking in that, but yeah, it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of masking, a lot of color correction. There's the garage track on the top right-hand corner.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's what that is.
That's not so bad.
But no one can tell what that's.
I don't mind that as much. It's the fern behind Connor. It's the fern.
They can have ferns on their ship. It's okay.
Where else have we seen a fern on the bad guy's ship? Nowhere is the answer. Nowhere.
They have curtain walls. Why can't they have fern in the prison?
But I'm in the last shot of the whole movie. No, yeah. This
And you're very menacing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this moment. I appreciate this moment a lot.
I should have shot him. Here you go.
Right.
Here you go. End of the episode.
Beautiful.
End of the episode. End of the series.
You did it.
Honestly, it feels like a callback to when you took the gun and then handed it back to Marcus.
Right.
Martin.
Like it's
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah.
Marcus. Martin.
Marcus?
Yeah.
Just like Alan?
When you handed Alan to Martin. I almost said Marcus. He handed it back, and it was just like this. Yeah, have the gun or don't have the gun. Yeah.
I love that my crew is willingly handing me guns at every turn. I don't
Yeah.
even have to ask. That's some teamwork right there.
Yeah.
So episode 10, the Earth blew up.
Yeah.
People got kidnapped. We don't know what happens from here because there is no season 2 at this point. Any outstanding thoughts from what we've seen?
So the Earth was attacked, but not all the ROM blown up. It was just attacked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the planet still exists.
Yes, the planet still exists because that's where we are in that last shot. We're on the planet.
Mm.
Planet still
we went
exists.
back
Explosions are still happening because, of course, things have been blown up and it's a whole thing. But the planet still exists, just most of Earth's populace has been kidnapped by the Takeo. We don't know for what.
Right.
Experimentation for some of them.
In your head, is there an idea for what would come next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have a blueprint of season 2 stuck in your head still that you should probably get on paper.
Yeah.
I mean, who's to say I haven't?
Right. Okay.
I've dabbled. I've tinkered.
All right.
I've dabbled. I tinkered, but we need a budget. We need a budget because we'd have to rent a sound stage and build things like actual walls. None of the insta wall.
No insta walls, no knocking walls over.
I think
Martin just moved the wall.
Martin just moved the wall. I don't think we ever had a wall fall over fully.
We had one like start going over and then
But we
people
got it.
grabbed it. But yeah.
We got it. See, we're good. Nothing ever fell over. That's what you get when you have no budget.
I mean, I'm still so impressed with like you had just enough funds to build the bare minimum to create what you could for a spaceship, and then like those walls were rearranged in so many configurations.
Mm-hmm.
You had a whole spaceship in a living, in a living space.
Yeah, the only walls that weren't
crazy.
rearranged were the lift walls. Those stayed the same in that corner the whole time.
The confessional lift.
Window.
The confessional lift, yes.
Yep, that one. Those stayed the whole time. Everything else moved. Depending on what we needed, we moved the walls, rearranged, moved some more stuff. It was just a never-ending game of Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
Creating new corridors that really didn't go anywhere because we only had like 20 feet. We had 20 feet, then of course we had all like my media room shelving and DVD media collection and all that in the way.
Just think of the shots we could have got if you just hadn't had that little TV stand with your TV and stuff.
Well,
What if you had just gotten rid of all of your stuff?
The TV was
So that
flattered
we
against
just
the
could have
wall. It was
moved
the
everything
shelf.
in.
It was that hanging shelf that like the DVD player and stuff was in. That was what was always in the way.
You wanted to continue living in your townhome while we finished? How dare you?
No, but I mean, what we came up with, what we made work. I'm incredibly proud of all of us.
Yeah,
because a lot of it was on the fly. What's up, Bryce?
I said, no, I was glad to be part of it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Bryce had a lot of fun. I know you did, because we had a number of scenes together in some of the other episodes, and we had a lot of fun. I just showed up and I was like, I never know what's going to happen.
That's the fun of it.
It is the fun. That's
Bryce.
Team partner is always fun.
Bryce went from a bad guy that faked his death to being a good guy to help catch assassins, then to being a bad man. That was his
He
character
never
arc.
faked his death. That was Joanna's thing.
Right.
Oh, he didn't fake the death? Oh, okay.
No, he convinced her to fake her death. Come work with him.
Oh.
Then he captained
So
the
he
ship
was
into
just-
an ion storm. That's apparently how we met. Is he captained his ship into an ion storm? Yep. I still don't know why cannoli's called cannoli either. That one I haven't figured out.
That has to be in season 2 as well.
Well, we did decide as a group that cannoli's like this world famous artist that nobody really realizes. Because we had the artwork on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the metal one that was in that shot in my office. That was the original cannoli. We had the fluffy cannoli that's in all the medical bay scenes. So we decided that cannoli is some sort of artist. Just nobody really knows. So, yeah, no, I still don't know why he got that nickname. I'll figure it out.
It's fun to say, though. Captain Cannoli.
Yeah, cannoli, Captain Cannoli. Even though his name is Adams. The most uncannoliest of names. Adams. Oh, goodness. So, we've seen some of our sets. Walt, you helped create a lot of our set setups because you were one of the first directors there. Is there one that you are extremely proud of?
Not in particular. I mean, I did enjoy the daily challenge of how can I make a corridor look different in this space, you know? Because that we'd literally be like, it's like, okay, this is another corridor scene. I don't want to be the same. It's got to be different. You know, it's got to be a T. It's got to be a whatever. You know, the guy coming around corners. They got a different corner. You know, so that was kind of just, I don't know, a bizarre hobby at the time. But no, I mean, I think you had 90% of things laid out before I ever got to set, you know.
I wish I could take that credit. Most of what we have as far as like rooms and stuff, that was all you, Walt. It wasn't me. I provided the walls, some stuff to put on the walls. I had no plan. I had nothing. The only thing that was in place was the lift. Walt effectively designed our spaceship on the fly.
Well, you just had to make a new room. I mean, yeah. No one else knew what it was supposed to look like either, so we were okay. As long as we can replicate it for another shot somewhere, we'll be all right.
Yeah. That was the tricky part. We never could get the bridge wall back to where you had it, which is why it always had the gap. That gap.
It's gonna be okay.
I know it's gonna be okay, but that gap, oh my gosh. We saw it in the blooper reel quite badly. All the way up. The door frame. And nobody could ever get that door wall where we needed it, so we didn't see the door frame after that initial bridge setup that Walt created.
Yep.
Yeah. We said earlier on, like, having a blueprint would be helpful when you have movable wall.
Yes, a blueprint, maybe marking it out on the floor a little bit. That would have been helpful. And probably another 5 feet of space.
Oh.
Would have been great.
5 feet either way would have been
amazing.
Would have changed most of the shots.
Yeah, a little bit more space, a little bit more wall options would have been nice too. Get rid of those stupid U shelves.
Did you have a favorite setup?
Ooh. I think my favorite setup is anytime we were on the second floor and we got that blue screen window trick to work. Because it really, especially like in Renee's office, when we have space in the windows, it looks really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Even Ben, when he's on the planet in whatever episode it was, and it's like the mountains outside of his window. Anytime we got that window effect to work, I think is my favorite.
Nice.
What about you, Emily? Did you have a
The
favorite?
blind? We didn't. Did I have a favorite?
The blinds. Those blinds.
I really appreciated the moving shots that Walt was able to create earlier on. That's impressive considering all this whole project is impressive, and then he pulls off like a very like hard thing to do. And it works. It works really well. So
Walt did a lot of really good moving shots.
choreographing.
A lot of choreography. What about you, Bryce?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, hold on. There was a
No,
lag.
keep on.
There was a lag.
Finish
your
yeah, my
train of thought,
internet
Emily.
feels spotty. My internet feels a little spotty today. I think honestly, I think that very last moment is my like favorite moment.
You had a lot of fun with that bed frame taking Bryce out. I remember.
I did.
You're like, yay!
Too much fun, I think.
Well, you know, you did play a bad guy, man. You did your
Apparently on
best.
podcasts, I keep getting them.
They're the funnest to play. Keep it up.
They are.
They're a lot of fun to play. I enjoy it.
Was there a favorite setup that you were a part of, Bryce?
I remember you made like some kind of jungle. I don't know if I was in the scene. I can't remember, but I remember seeing a jungle in your garage.
Mm-hmm.
You do like some kind of jungle thing where you're down on the planet.
We do
Oh,
that
that was
twice.
nice.
We did that twice. We did it in 3 when we meet the Australians, and then we did it in 6 when Cannoli makes his first appearance.
Ah, gotcha.
So we had a jungle for both of those. Yeah.
Cool.
The jungle was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I am proud of that jungle, weirdly so.
I liked it. That's one.
I think you should be proud of it. I think it was probably one of my favorite setups, just because on the day I really was sitting there going, I don't know how she's gonna do this. I had a lot of faith in you, but I was like, we are creating a jungle in a blue screen garage. We'll see how it turns out. But it turned out really great, and I think you've done a lot with it that is very, very commendable.
Yeah, the jungle in the garage was fun. It was fun, and it would have been much easier had we gone back to my cousin's backyard.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel right going, hey, can we come film in your backyard again? And then when we shot it in the garage, there were a lot of comments from you and the other cast members like, oh, I'm so glad we're not out in the outdoors. There were bugs.
There were several spiders. There were moments that I'm sure if you go through the footage that you would just see me go. Because I'm trying to keep it together. And I'm like, oh God, it's crawling towards me.
I felt a little bit better about the reshoots when everyone's like, I'm really glad we're shooting this inside. But no, the jungle was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I didn't.
None of those plants would ever be in an environment together.
It doesn't matter.
No,
You never
but
know.
I find it entertaining. None of those trees would ever be found in the same environment.
That we know of.
True.
I just went and stole all my grandma's fake trees. She was cool enough to let me do that. That's where the fern in the background of 10 is from. Casey sent me some fake bushes for those shots. I still have that fern. It's out in the garage, though, because Percy keeps trying to eat it.
Yep.
Cats! All right.
Cats.
Cats. It's a thing. Okay, so what about, we asked this, at some point I asked it, but favorite character from the series?
My answer's the same, Armand.
Armand?
So.
He's a popular one.
I think mine's probably Mac.
Yeah,
Eric
did a great
really
job.
brought it with Mac, and I had a lot of fun acting alongside with him.
You two made the most awkward couple. It was beautiful. It's beautiful.
We try.
Season 2 would involve some exploration of that relationship. I'll say that.
I did love the fact that there was that moment on ship in this episode that we see them together, and it's like, okay, they're still there. Okay,
They figured
they're
out.
still there.
Rivera figured out how not to hate him.
You just can't say quantumite around you. It's fine.
Exactly.
All right, so Max, so Walt, favorite character?
I don't know, probably yours, just because she has the most. Either yours or Haley's, because just the emotion shown. Yeah, either of you. Were if one of you's on scene, that's who I'm probably watching it at the time. So,
Okay. Bryce, I know you haven't seen all the episodes.
No, I'm fully at a disadvantage here. I have the ones I worked with. I like Jake's character. I like Jake. He's so fun to work with and play with, and so that's the only one I can come to mind because I haven't seen it all. So, and it's been so long since I was there. Like I don't know, I haven't seen it. I'd say Jake for right now.
Okay.
I have to see the rest of it to be able to make a more.
Captain Connolly was a very enjoyable character to watch.
Because I did not. When I got Jake involved, like, Connolly was always a quirky character, but Jake just brought magic to that. More than I could have ever imagined or hoped for. Which was glorious. It was wonderful. Oh gosh, this is hard because I wrote the thing. Favorite character, geez, I don't know. I mean, there's something I like about all of them. I think because of performance-wise, Noah and Haley. So Adrian and Joanna. They definitely brought something, and then of course all the quirky characters that everybody brought to life with Rivera and Mac, and I mean even Bryce's character. Just so much beautiful joy. in ways that I could never, like, I can put words on a page and I can have something in my head. And there were times I had things in my head and you guys showed up and did something completely different. I'm like, that's better. We're going to do that. Do that. I mean, we talked about this when we watched episode 3 the other day. Because there's a scene where they get, for Walt and Bryce who weren't there, there's a scene where they get high on the super weed. And when we shot it originally, there was no laughter. It was a very serious scene, even though they're supposed to be high. When we reshot it, Dan came up with the brilliant, he's like, let's just be giggling maniacs. And they came to me and they're like, is that okay? I was like, yeah, go for it. And it is a hysterical scene at this point. And it wouldn't have been had we not had to reshoot it and had Dan not been like, hey, let's change it up. And because they changed it up, the editing effect that is there is just, that is one of my favorite things that came out of it because it looks really cool.
So, that is a great scene, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out. So, you know, that's one thing. I love bringing on people that I know are going to bring something and come ready to play, because that's where the discovery happens. And with this bunch that we had for this, there were so many moments. Like, from what was scripted to what we actually ended up with sometimes was very different. But we ended up with some really neat, very strong moments with different people. And it's a testament to how much talent we had in the cast. Because you can't do that with just anybody. You can't.
No, you can't.
So, I mean, never knowing what Bryce was going to do.
You're
That
welcome.
was the thing. Because when we shot that, I didn't know you were going to grab my butt.
Don't like the rest of do.
He went for it, and I was like, okay, here we go. That was all real. Okay. So it was. It's yeah, like I said, Bryce is somebody I trust when I work with him. I'm just like, all right, whatever happens, happens. We're gonna go with it. And you can't do that with every actor.
No.
So, we had a number of actors on this that you can show up ready to play and see what happens. And I think we're very fortunate because of that. Walt's one of those. Eric's another one. Yeah. You're another one. I think pretty much everybody, you can show up and we can do pretty much whatever and everybody would respond. But that's something.
Yeah, I think so.
We all, because we studied acting together, we all knew.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a trust there, and we all felt like we were in a safe enough space on set to bring our own ideas and trust that people weren't just gonna leave us hanging.
No, it was a lot of.
Well, that's something I've echoed through all of these viewings I've been on, is the that you brought together that helps create this whole project and bring it to life. Like, it wouldn't work, it wouldn't be as good as it is, even with all of the issues that are in each one that are fun to point out and learn from. It still works because of the talent that's here.
No, I got very lucky that the people that said yes. Especially Walt. Because we had never actually met. I just cold messaged you because I needed a director, and Deuce gave me your name, and so I reached out to Walt, and I knew, because you mentioned when we did the first commentary that, why you said yes, and it was because of my passion. But I had a feeling the day that you came down that first day, I was like, he could say no. He could get all the way down here and say no. And you told me that when you pulled up outside the townhouse at one point, you were going to say no.
That was my initial thought. It was like, I'm not drive all the way down here. There's no pay. There's no budget. There's no, I don't know who I'm working with. Walk in and you're like, okay, so this is going to be 7 different rooms. And this one's going to be, I was just like, okay, But yeah, you were just so excited and so positive, and it was just, yeah, your passion was um, spreading. It was good. So.
Well, I appreciate that because I'm like, I gotta convince him to stay. Because I had no camera, I had no backup plan, and I had people there already. I was like, this might get filmed on my phone. And thankfully, you were awesome and you said yes. Because again, we wouldn't have half the setups we have without you. Well, pretty much all the setups. We wouldn't have a lot of the wonderful shots we have, a lot of the storytelling elements that we have without you having said yes, Walt.
Like you've pointed out all the time, it took every single one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If we'd had if Martin hadn't shown up, we would have lost something.
Mm-hmm.
It's everyone played their part, and I mean, just like people making lunch for us in the middle of the chaos. If that hadn't happened, half the crew wouldn't have stayed.
Yeah, true. That's true.
It's like
I always made sure we had food because y'all weren't getting paid. I had to feed you well, so no pizza on my set. No pizza. We had something freshly cooked, but it definitely took all of us. I'm really grateful for everybody that said yes to this Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs idea, and we made something to be proud of. It's no budget, yes. But it's something to definitely be proud of, especially now that it's done.
The fact that you finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me 9 years, but it's done.
Is more than 90% of the people I work with, if independents I work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff gets made and it never gets finished. And
right.
That is something this has been on my to-do list. I'm like, I need to finish. I need to finish. I need to finish. I need to finish.
But it's taking it's all that time and not taking it off your to-do list, because so many people would be like, it's been too long. I don't want to look at it again. I don't want to figure out how to, cover Eric's beard in that shot or whatever it would be. There's a lot of reasons to go, I'll just leave it as it is. And you've done it. That's
yeah. I also don't like leaving things unfinished. For as many times as like, it's been too long, I should just give up. But then somebody would invariably message me, hey, did that ever get finished?
Are we ever gonna see that?
Someday. Someday. Because, I'd get into it, and for like a month, I'd be gung-ho, and then I'd get mad at the blinds.
Yep.
And have to walk away.
This would have been done 4 years earlier if those blinds hadn't.
If we had just figured out the windows.
The windows. The fact that, half our shots had stuff in the background and nobody was paying attention. Things. Learning process. Pay attention to what's in the shot. But no, I'm
having a monitor so you could see the things large.
Monitor. It's a novel concept, but it's an important concept. A monitor so we can see how much the shot is moving. Steady shots are good. Up and down shots, not so much. Especially when I got no way to track that and steady it in post. So no, it would have been done sooner, but there was a lot of there were definitely some unique challenges in the editing side of things. And I feel like I brought that karma on myself because my joke on set was, I'll just fix it in post.
The dreaded words.
The dreaded words. But, like I mentioned when we did 3 the other day, some things worked out.
Yeah.
We forgot to mud people's foreheads in the scene, and it threw off the whole continuity in the reshoot, but in editing, in post, it actually worked out and I fixed it.
Yep.
Oh.
The story's better! That doesn't always happen, folks. It does not always happen.
Don't rely on.
It was a rare unicorn of a benefit. Very
it's the
rare
exception,
unicorn.
not the rule.
Yeah.
That does not happen.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh goodness.
I think all the lessons that you learned and what you could do better. And like, I mean, I would read it, take notes, because you were the key player in all of this, so you would know every single moment from pre-production, writing it to organizing it to shooting it, and then the nightmare of the editing that it was. Like you would have all of that knowledge that you can share with the world, so people aren't as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as you are.
Yeah.
So if they're cuckoo enough, they can take on a project.
Yes.
Yeah. My big thing is have a good team.
Mhm.
Have a good team, because none of this would have happened. I called in a lot of favors. I mean, Bryce was a sweetheart and came down and built us flat walls.
Mhm.
Me figuring that out would have been interesting, because I did not have any of the tools needed for that. Nor did I have the budget to go purchase the tools. I was always having to borrow a drill. Finally, I had to get my own drill. So
You do own some tools now.
well, now I do. But 9 years ago, I had a screwdriver and a hammer. That was it. Anytime Eric was on set, hey, can you bring your drill? Or I'd have to go borrow my dad's. And half the time his battery was dead. It was the whole thing. But no, having a good team makes a world of difference. And that is something, none of this would have happened without everybody. I mean, you came down on a day when you weren't scheduled to film to run Crafty for me. By the way, least favorite job. I now know. I appreciate those folks so much more. But Crafty is like one of the most important things on set, as Walt said. Had I not fed people, they would have left, and I don't blame them. I do not blame them one bit for that.
Well, and I wasn't the only one that did that. There were a number of people that stepped up and were moving lights and holding things and trying to make sure to be as helpful as possible, even if they weren't in the shot. People were really showing up for the project where and when they could.
Yeah. People showed up. A lot of people came in on their day off. People were there helping PA. We had people helping with Crafty. Robbie came and helped with Crafty a lot, which I was very grateful.
Yeah.
Robbie got pulled from Crafty a couple of times to run sound for us.
Right.
Because sound fell through. It was like, who's free? Who's got some hands?
Who can hold a mic?
Cassidy helped with sound. I think Bryce came and helped with sound at one point. When we couldn't find somebody, we pulled people. And the crew, too, because like in 7, we watched Cassidy make her cameo. Heard her voice as well. In 9, Kato got thrown in as the statue. He got thrown in. Angelique is everywhere. So we really lucked out with people who were willing to jump in and do whatever needed to happen day of. And for that, I'm very grateful. Because none of this is, like, yeah, I could have done something on my own. That would have been weird.
Again, we need a reshot, you playing every role.
Nah.
Finger puppets.
The Potter Pal puppets.
In the age of TikTok, you just need hats and glasses.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple fake mustaches.
I don't got places
play
to
all
put
the
that,
parts.
Emily.
Just borrow Jan's wigs.
I don't even think Jan still has the wigs. Carlin would be easy. I would just literally need Jan's wigs, but I don't even think she still has the wigs. She's moved like 3 times.
Yeah.
But no, you all made it possible. This crazy idea I had. All because I was like, what do I have that I can use? I got my house. All right. This is our soundstage. Let's do it. And we went from there, and everybody that said yes. And we made some really awesome shots, had some great times, some great memories were made. And I'm forever going to be grateful for that. You guys... Ooh. This is the final. This is it. I mean, 9 years.
Is that what it was? 9 years? Wow.
2016 we started. And at the
didn't
time, I needed this. I needed it. And y'all said yes. And that was life-changing. It was life-changing. We have this fun thing that we did as a group of friends that came together and made it work. And these are memories that I appreciate and I cherish. Clearly, I have the quote wall behind me. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for everybody and what we did, because this is not something you can do with a random group of people. It would not work. And we started with a core group of us from class, and then we added people like Walt and a few others, and it came together.
This is special.
Well done, Becky.
Yeah,
Yes.
really well done.
Yes.
Way to
Thanks.
stick with it.
Thanks. But again, it really comes down to you guys. I just opened up a door and provided an opportunity. Crazy opportunity.
She just gathered the people and organized it and wrote the thing and gave us a place to choose.
Listen,
I know we showed up for you, but
you showed up.
This is your project at its core, and it doesn't happen without you.
Yes.
Yep.
It's true. Yes. It doesn't. But we're just going to keep going in circles on this. It took all of us, and we made something pretty incredible and fun and quirky. It fits all of us to a T. And I'm forever grateful that this was my first thing that I produced.
I just love it so much. I love this so much. Like, I'm bursting with just so much, like, just excitement that it's done. I can't even wait to like watch all. Every drop, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna force my children to watch it. I'm gonna post about it on social media. It's gonna be on my stories, and then I'm gonna binge it again all the way through, all 10 at once when they're all there. I am just so excited. It's done. It's like this thing that all of us did, that Becky started this opportunity space. Space shows, and I am on a space show, and I got to beat Bryce up, and I love it. This is fun.
Highlights.
I am really glad we changed the name from Space Watch, though.
Yeah. Space Watch.
That was the original working title was Space Watch, and it went out the window very quickly.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, enough jokes. Space Watch. Yeah, it went out the window very quickly.
So where is this going to be available?
So it's going to be available on YouTube. We're going to do 2 episodes a week. So starting next Friday, April 4th, the first 2 episodes will drop at noon Los Angeles time. And then the 4 weeks after that, it'll be 2 episodes each week. Same time, noon. And the episode will drop along with the commentary track. So people can watch the episode, watch the commentary, enjoy our wonderful energy and thoughts and random things that we've learned and talked about and various things. So yeah, that is the plan. Any final questions from any of you all about any part of the process, shall we say?
I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note,
somebody were
there's lag. What's going on, Em?
No, I have a question.
Okay.
If somebody were to want to start, where do they start?
With a good script.
If somebody wanted to do this, where would they start? With a good script, yeah.
A good script.
You had a great script.
Well, thank you. I have my doubts about that, but thank you. No, a great script. You
Yes, if your script wasn't that good.
You need a great.
That's what came through clear.
You need a good script. Without a good script, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Once you have that really good script, you'll find people who believe in the project. And that's what happened with me. Because it started with Jan, really. She read it and got excited about it. She liked the script. And then the fact that she could play her own twin was why she said yes. So having a good script and finding the people who believe in the script as much as you do is really how it's the best place to start, but the script is the most important, because without a good script, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, in my opinion, and in my limited amount of experience.
Because we've all seen the movies that had a terrible script and went, why? Yeah.
How did they get funding? That's what I want to know.
Because they put a really big, expensive actor in front of it.
Not necessarily. I've seen some. But it's like, again, how did you get funding? This is a conversation Megan and I have all the time. Like, what happened? There is so much promise. We've had this conversation a lot lately. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had it today, in fact. Yeah.
But
a good script is important. A good team is also important. But without the script, you're not going to find a good team. And without a good script and a good team, funding is a thing. It's, that triangle thing. You do it fast, you can have the money or a good director. But you can't get all three, and then you gotta have two to get the third, and it's a whole thing. But really, it starts with the script. Because the script is what's going to attract actors, it's what's going to attract a director, it's what's going to attract the funding, and all that. But, and that's the thing, you don't have to go through a studio. That's the other thing that people never tell you, because you always think, oh, well, I'd have to go to a big studio to do this. No.
Do it in your house.
That being said, it would have been so much easier.
Money makes everything easier. Money makes everything easier.
Well, having control of sound on a soundstage is also huge.
Yes. That thing.
I won't discount that.
Sound, you know from your short, sound is important.
Yes.
But no, having all of those things is important, but it all comes down to you gotta have the story to start. You gotta have the story to start, and you gotta have a rough plan, at least. An idea of how am I gonna pull this off. All I knew was I have my house. We'll put the ship in my house. That was it. That's all I knew.
Qualify as a plan.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's like Walt's plan. What's your plan? Don't get shot.
Yep.
That's a good plan. Okay.
Don't get shot. You show up as prepared as you can with an idea, and you hope everything goes well.
There was a lot of hope.
A lot of
cussing.
A lot of heart, though, too.
A lot of heart, some cussing, some crying.
But
a lot of laughs.
And I'd like to say that I could speak from, most of us, which is just thanks for bringing us along. We had a lot of fun.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't want to do it unless I had you all on board. That was Walt came on later. Walt came on later, and I'm so glad that he did, because he fit right in with our crazy crew.
Yes.
He fit right in. But so did, because I had never met Noah or Haley. Jan brought them in. She brought Warren in. She brought a bunch of people in. They also fit right in. Mm-hmm. So we really lucked out with who we had. And I'm forever grateful for this wonderful, quirky adventure. How many people can say they turned their house into a spaceship for 2 years?
There you go.
Not many.
Pretty much just you, really.
Yeah, I know. It's a great icebreaker when I'm networking. I've come to find out. It's like, so what have you worked on? Well, I turned my house into a spaceship one time for 2 years. What now? Thing.
Are you still single?
Yes.
You might not want to lead with that next time.
Listen, Walt. I'm okay being single if it means
Hey,
I can make movies.
There you go.
That's I'm like, if the qualifier is I can't turn my house into whatever spaceship or set that I want, then I don't want to be in the relationship. But I'm gonna.
Emily said it.
Yep. There you go.
I want.
You're in or you're out. Yeah.
I want a partner who's like, okay, we're doing what now? Spaceship? Okay, what do we need? We need Walt. We need to go get some lampshades from the thrift store. What do we need? That's if I ever find that person, I will never let them go. Okay.
They'll be trapped in the basement.
I'm not recreating Envelope. I don't need to trap them. They'll want to stay to see what kind of chaos I'm going to create. What are we going to do now? Let's make a train. I don't know.
You know, they already have those.
Not in my house, Bryce.
No. Oh, you want a train in your house? We
Not
can do
really.
a little
Full-size train?
I don't know. We could recreate Strangers on a Train. Do our own take on it.
Curve in the ceiling a little bit. We gotta solve that window problem.
Yeah.
Well, all we'd have to do is build the wall with the door, black out the windows. We'd have the length of that like front room on the second floor to the kitchen, so we could build an entire train car in there.
And they're only
already kind of curved.
And they're only like what, 6 feet, 7 feet wide?
Exactly.
I mean, it'll fit in the house. We'll be fine.
Go.
Yeah, we'd just build an entire set where we wouldn't have to move walls. Shocker.
God, what would I do?
Walt wouldn't have to plan a new room every scene.
He wouldn't have to plan a new room. He'd have to figure out the camera angles, though. Because we'd only have 10 feet.
We'd have to have movable walls, so we could pull this one out. Put the That's what I did with Envelope. Some of the walls, 2 of the walls were removable, so I could get out.
Hey, movable walls. Beautiful.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Train in a house. Here we come.
We're coming to California. Let us know the dates.
We'd have to figure out where to put that in our apartment.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll fit here.
If you build it, we will come.
You know, next project, Walt, you're going to get an email that says, okay, I've built it. You've got to come now.
All right. Let's do it.
See, this is why I love working with you all, because I'll be like, hey, let's do this crazy thing. And you're like, okay, when and where? I adore all of you and everyone that said yes and came on the crazy adventure, because it was nuts. I own it.
The good kind of nuts, though.
Yes, the good kind of nuts. The cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs nuts, where you get the chocolate milk afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. It's a thing. All right. Any final thoughts, comments, questions? All right. Cool.
Call us. We're on it. Let's go.
Well, you're on my short list. You know that.
Oh, I know.
So's Bryce. so's Bryce and Emily and Megan. Obviously, I live with her.
You
She doesn't even have to ask anymore. She'll be home at some point.
I always ask. All right, folks. Well, that's been episode 10. That is the end of Fleet as we know it. Unless somebody wants to fund season 2.
As we know it. As we know it.
Precisely.
That would have been smart, having a playoff song. That would have been copyright. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, folks, on this wonderful adventure. And we'll see you at some point in the movies and film and all the things. All right. See you later, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.